Let's do an F-test here in Excel. Now the F-test is going to be able to compare two different values, and we're comparing the standard deviations. So here the table to the left shows independent samples of stock prices from Amazon and Google from the month of May. Test whether the standard deviation of Amazon stock is less than Google stock at alpha is 0.05. So first we're going to state the null and alternative hypothesis. Now we're going to use Amazon as sample 1, and we're going to use Google as sample 2. So when I think about my null and alternative hypotheses, we are talking about Amazon being less than Google. So I'm going to say, okay, we're going to go with, oh goodness, our symbols are just bad here. Can I just use S? Thanks. We're going to use S is S1 because I need samples. S1 is less than S2. So the sample of Amazon is less than sample 2, which is Google. That makes our null hypothesis, sample 1 is equal to sample 2. So when we're talking about the F-test, we're really just testing, are they different, right? So in this case, less than is the difference. Now, for the test statistic, in case you have forgotten, the F statistic is taken variance of the first and divided by the variance of the second. So we need to find the sample variances. So I'm going to type in var, and I need S because this is a sample. So I'm going to go ahead and get my sample size here. There's my variance. So now we go variance sample here for Google. All right, so I have my two variances. So to find F, I'm going to take the variance of Amazon because that is 1, and we're going to divide that by the variance of my second, which is Google, and I have my test statistic. Now to find my p-value, I do need to think, let me draw this in here. I base my right tail, left tail off my alternative hypothesis. So because this is less than, I know I need a left-tailed test. So when I go to find the p-value and I type in F, for the F distribution, we just have the left tail or the right tail. So I type F distribution. The X that we need is the test statistic that we found. And then we need our degrees of freedom. Well, how many data points do we have? Okay, so first of all, let me go ahead and back out of this. If you don't know how many pieces of data you have, you can use the count feature. Get your whole data, and we have 20 peeps. Our sample size is 20. So that means our degree of freedom is going to be 1 less than that, which is 19. And our two sample sizes are the same. So I can use my F distribution. I've got my test statistic. 19, same degree of freedom for both sets in this case. And I want 1 because I want the cumulative distribution function, not a probability density function. I close it and I get my p-value. So my p-value here is 0.08. Now alpha is 0.05. So because the p-value is greater than alpha, I cannot reject the null hypothesis. That means there is not enough evidence to show that Amazon stock is less than Google stock. Not enough evidence to show that. Now, this works very similarly if you have a right-tailed test, because you will notice when I did the F, I had the left distribution or the right-tailed distribution. If, just to remind you, if you have a two-tailed F-test, I cannot type right now, that's fine. Two-tailed F-test, your p-value is going to be the smaller of 2 times the p-value of the left-tailed test, or 2 times the p-value of the right-tailed test. So for this particular case, if this was two-tailed, we would say, okay, we're going to take 2 times the left tail, right? Because this was left. And then we would want to find the right-tailed. So I would do the F distribution, right tail. Again, we do the test statistic, comma 19, comma 19. And then I would take 2 times that, and that's the right. So the smaller of those is 0.16, so that would be the p-value of the two-tailed test. So I just wanted to throw that out just in case you need a two-tailed F test. You can also do that in Excel, just a little bit different. Hope that helps with any Excel and the F test.